Hey Trish, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for having me.
Beautiful, beautiful. And thank you so very much too for being here. You see, I truly appreciate it. And oftentimes, Trish, I love to thank my guests for two things. And I do this so often to the point where I think it has become my anthem. So firstly, Trish, I want to say thank you for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, Trish, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. I just walked past it, and I went my way. But you see, Trish, just recently I was on that same road, and this time around a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance, and and instantly I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, but ripe mangoes. It looks so beautiful. That day was a special moment for me, I tell you. I was so excited, as if I won the lottery, you see. I was really, really excited. And here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Trish that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to say nope to you. And you see, getting to read about you, your bio, the stuff that you're doing, the impact your work is having, it's amazing. Your philosophies, your insight, I love it. And I just couldn't wait for this conversation to start. And so I'm truly grateful and thank you so very much for being here. Thank you. I truly appreciate it, Trish.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, beautiful. Awesome. So let's get started. You see, Trish, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information. And you see, not just knowledge, but the application of it. And you see, Trish, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very, very important to me and even to the listeners. The second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Trish on the show is for the sake of the listeners. They say, Trish, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, high opening, and very important information, of which I'm totally convinced that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, Trish, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey. Right now we are so curious. We want to know how Trish got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Trish, over to you.
Oh, my journey. Okay. Let's sort of encapsulate that into as short as possible time as I can. And it's a journey from an introvert and a very shy introvert. And probably we could go back what I call back in the Jurassic period when I left school, which was a long, long time ago. And at that time, there was no concept on my horizon of being a speaker, of being an author, of having my own business. I was pretty shy. I was quite happy doing what I was doing. And there was no way that I would have ever got up to speak in front of an audience. I wouldn't even think of doing a podcast like this. It just wasn't on my horizon. So how did that shy person get from there to here? Wow. it's a journey of, and when I look back, because of a few things that have happened recently, I was looking back at my journey, and I guess it was a journey of saying yes. Yes to opportunities. Yes when doors open. But I never realized that I was actually experiencing that journey until just very recently, when a lot of things happened. And when I was working out how they happened, it was because I'd said yes to opportunities. So I spent my early years working in corporate industries, male-dominated industries, quite happy until there came a time in our life that we moved. I grew up in Canberra, which is our capital city. Around about 1989, we decided to move to Brisbane. Big move, mainly for the weather. Now, I've been in Brisbane for a few years and I hadn't got any friends, didn't know anybody. So I was talking to an acquaintance at one time and said, look, we need to make friends. So he said to me, I know a club. You can go to that club and they'll make some friends. They're friendly people. So remember, I'm a shy introvert. Pretty hard for me to walk into somewhere that I don't know anybody, but I did. And it's amazing I stayed more than about a minute because I discovered that that club was all about speaking. It was a Toastmasters club and it was all about helping you to speak. Now, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to make some friends. I stayed, and 30 years later, I'm still in that club. That was probably the first time I said yes. I said yes to go through a door and didn't realize until way many years later where that yes took me. Now, that journey from saying yes took me to doing leadership roles, took me to being a leader of 3,000 members. It took me to learning that I had value, and it taught me that I did have a message. From there, I started my business in 2006 because I had a passion that if I could learn to have the confidence in speaking, if I could learn to step up and believe in myself, then I would like to share that with other people. So my then business partner and I started our business. We did a lot of corporate training. And then another milestone was that the global financial crisis hit. So our corporate training dried up and we changed our business into a lot of mentoring, a lot of one-on-one, some groups and workshops. Along that way, we said yes to writing our first book. We'd been in business a couple of years and we were told a book's a good credibility for you to have. So we did that, wrote a book and learnt all the things that you shouldn't do when you write a book, all the things that can go wrong, which has been really great because what I have also learnt in my journey is the best learning that you can have is when things don't go right. Because when things go wrong, you learn what not to do, you learn how to improve, you learn how to move forward, you learn to be resilient, you learn to pivot, you learn to be flexible, you learn to accept change. And those are all the things that came through in the early things, when things didn't go quite right, when things didn't work so well. We tried something, it didn't work, we learned and we grew. Fast forward a bit more, my then business partner and I parted company amicably, and I continued to work a lot more as a mentor. But along the way, I got asked to contribute to a book. Now, I've written 2 books, one to start with and one of my own, and I thought that was it for me as an author. That was it. I wasn't an author. I was a speaker. I learned to believe in myself. I learned to accept who I was. I learnt the value of living how I want to live and being who I want to be. Those who know me know I'm extremely purple. I have purple hair. I love purple. And I accepted that it was quite okay for me to be and do what I wanted to be because I was confident in who I was. But I didn't think I was an author. I said yes eventually because I realized that I was working with my clients, telling them to accept things, to stand up, to step out. And I thought, well, who was I not to do that? So I said yes to contributing to that chapter. It was a book in America, so I figured it wouldn't matter. No one in Australia was going to read this book. So if my chapter wasn't very good, if it didn't work out, it wouldn't matter. That was a big mistake because people in Australia read it. They liked it. Since that time, which was about 6 years ago, I'm now the author, co-author, contributing author of 22 books. I discovered that writing was another way for me to share my message, to connect with people. People often say to me, how do you overcome your fear of speaking? Why do you get up and speak? You're an introvert. How can you do that? Along the way, I've learned to harness my energy. But one of the things I learned, and has always said to me, is that it's never about me. When I write, when I speak, it's not about me. It's about the one person that may hear some words that I've got to say. The one person that may read a chapter that I have written. And if my words in the chapter or that I say are able to be the words that that one person needs to hear at that time, then I have fulfilled my vision. I have fulfilled what I feel is my passion. And that's why I speak, and that's why I write, and that's why I have my business where I am so passionate about helping people to own their own uniqueness and to have the confidence to stand up and speak and share what their business is all about. Along the way, I learned
Beautiful,
about
Trish.
things. Yeah,
Please go on.
no, that's fine. I could go on a long time.
You see,
You ask
your
questions.
words, yeah, your words are profound and incredible. And I listen so attentively because they are really, really insightful. You see, the part where you mentioned that you began to say yes to opportunities, it took me a long period to step into that truth, you see. And back then, I was always rejecting any form of opportunity because I felt like I felt insecure and I was so scared. Okay, what if it's just gonna harm me? What if it's just gonna do this? Things like that. So it kept me in that situation where I wasn't moving forward. I was just stagnant until I understood that I need to start saying yes to things after carefully observing them. And when I started doing things like that, saying yes to opportunities, oh boy, all that you said, very true, very, very true. And the fact that you're helping folks, unleash their uniqueness and have the confidence, that part too, more like you're just talking to me because I used to be there, you see. I do not even know how to speak to people, relate with people, or even ask questions or do things like this. I tell you, until I discovered this truth that you're saying, and it really helped me. So I've got just a few questions for you. All right. You mentioned you've written books and you've contributed to books. So what's your favorite book? Maybe the one you've written or the one you've contributed to.
Okay, there's a story behind every book that I've written, and a story behind every book that I've contributed to. Uh, I say to people, say yes to writing a chapter in a book. One of the ones that I will share with you, and it's one of the things I'm really so passionate about, is I'm going to share three very quickly. One is Touched by Breast Cancer. The other is Forever Changed by Suicide. Those two are ones that I facilitated, and each of them has authors that have contributed their stories in each of those cases. Touched by breast cancer, I've had breast cancer, and I wanted to share that, and I've invited others. Forever Changed by Suicide, we lost our son Craig to suicide in 2007. That
So
was
sorry.
thank you. That was a very big turning point in our lives, and there's a lot of story behind that. So I can go more into that later or at another time because there's a huge story behind that goes down. But those two are very close to my heart. One of my first books is called Creating Confident Communicators. That's the first one I ever wrote by myself. And that's all about speaking and communicating and standing up and sharing your message. But the main one I want to share with you at the moment, which is one of the reasons why I say yes to opportunities. I was asked about 18 months to 2 years ago to contribute a chapter to a book that was launched on International Women's Day last year. And it was a book called Mission Accepted, 262 Women. 262 women around the world globally, from Australia, Europe, Kenya, America, Canada, EU, right round, contributed their stories and their business to this chapter. It was facilitated by a person called Deb Drummond in Vancouver. Now that book, saying yes just to that chapter, that yes took me at the end of February and the beginning of this month to Los Angeles to the Oscars Gifting Lounge to be one of the 4 people that she invited to come and share my story in that book at that Oscars Gifting Lounge with celebrities, with media people, writers, directors. Unbelievable opportunity. That also took me to a gala event where I had been one of the nominations for a Rising Constellation Award, and I was lucky to be there. While I did not win at this time, it gave me an opportunity to be at this gala event where, again, I met celebrities, media people, and I saw the value of having your 40-second introduction when I faced a gauntlet of at least 10 media interviews, one after the other. All of that, which is a lifetime opportunity for someone from a smallish town in Queensland, Australia, to be able to do that. It all came from saying yes to a chapter in a book. I did not know where it was going to take. That book has had over 40 million media impressions since it was released. It's given me opportunities to speak on summits, on podcasts, and it gave me the opportunity to go to Los Angeles to experience something I would never, ever have thought I could have experienced. So those are the 3 books that are close to my heart. The reasons why I say to you, say yes, because you never know where that opportunity will take you.
Very, very true. And thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, I have 2 more questions. So, what is the key to your success as a mentor and a speaker?
The most important key, I believe, for me is being able to listen. As a mentor, you need to be able to listen to your clients, to the people that come to you. And I also say it's listening to what's being said and what's not being said. It's listening to the heart behind the person has, the things that they may not be able to share because they're not confident. So listening and speaking is being able to listen to your audience, to listen to what people want you to do. Then it's the other thing that I think is the key to what I've done, and it's the biggest key that I can even ever give you, and that is to believe in yourself. When you believe in who you are and accept who you are, your uniqueness, your quirkiness, your faults, your strengths, it gives you a solid foundation when that imposter syndrome rears its head, or tall poppy syndrome, or when people try to take you down, or when things aren't going so well in your business, your career, in your life, you can fall back on that very sound foundation and say, I know who I am. I know I'm good enough. I know I'm awesome. I know what I can do. And when you come to that understanding, that is so empowering. So I think the keys to where I have is listening, learning, resilience, and believing in who I am and accepting that.
Got that resilience, listening, and believing in who you are and accepting that. I got that. Okay, so the last question. How do you help clients build confidence to speak up?
I share with them one of the things that people say, they want to be a good speaker. And they often come to me and they say, I want to be just like that person over there. They're a fantastic speaker. I want to be like them. And I say, no. I say, you can't be like them. And they get really sad and they get upset and they say, why? And I say, because you are not them. You need to be you, only a better you. Each and every one of us has some strengths and weaknesses when it comes to speaking. No one is born an awesome speaker. They may have good charisma, they may have great humor, they may have been really good at putting speeches together, but they work on that, and they work on enhancing their strengths, and they work on overcoming the weaknesses that they have. But one of the things I say to people, I will give you the strategies, the techniques. I can help you polish your speaking. I can help you to have the confidence to speak about your business. But the main thing that I've discovered from over my years of working with people, mentoring and training, over my own podcasts where I've interviewed speakers and my web TV where I interview speakers, I always ask them, what makes a speaker memorable? And without, it would be the first or second thing that they've said. And it is always because they're genuine, because they're authentic, because they are real. So I can polish your speaking. But what I do is I encourage people to be who they are, to be real, to open up their hearts, to take that mask and step out from behind that mask and let people see who they are in their hearts. When you share your passion, when you're authentic, your speaking doesn't have to be 100% polished because you will connect with your audience. So what I do with my clients is help them to have the confidence to be them, to have the confidence to own who they are, and then have the confidence with techniques and strategies to stand up and speak about their business.
Beautiful and awesome, because that's just the exact thing their audience needs, their customers needs. The customers need them to be their authentic selves. I got it. And I'll take that as a final thought. So for folks who like to reach out to you, Trish, or ask questions, or would love to purchase any of your books, how can that be possible?
You can go to my website, which is all those W's, trishspringsteen.com. I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook. Just look for the purple lady with the name of Trish Springsteen and you'll find me. And I'd be happy to have
Beautiful.
a conversation with you and just have a conversation, see how I can best help you to be the best person you can be.
Yeah, me, got it. That's going to be the end of the show, Trish. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing this beautiful, awesome stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
That was a